You're watching Mystic Rick's Crypto Picks. I am your host, Rick, and today I have some great information for you. We're going to talk about Solanium and what it means for the Solana Network. Before we get started today, please do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button, and make sure to share my content to other social media pages so that others can see the content that I produce. Now, let's get started and talk about Solana a little bit before we talk about the bridge between Solana and Solanium. Solana is scalable. Solana leverages proof of history and several other breakthrough innovations to allow the network to scale at a rate of Moore's Law. Never worry about rising fees as your user base grows. Solana is designed to keep fees low for applications with billions of users. Solana's single global state ensures composability between projects. Never deal with multiple shards or layer 2 systems. Now, Solana has 8 core innovations: proof of history, Tower BFT, Turbine, Gulfstream, Sea Level, Pipeline, Cloud Break, and Archivers. With proof of history, you can create a historical record that proves an event has occurred at a specific moment in time. The proof of history is a high-frequency verifiable delay function, or VDF, which is a function that requires a specific number of sequential steps to evaluate, yet produces a unique output that can be efficiently and publicly verified. Other blockchains require validators to talk to one another to agree that time has passed, but Solana requires all validators to maintain its own clock by constantly solving SHA-256 based VDF. Because each validator maintains its own clock, leader selection is scheduled ahead of time for an entire epoch, which lasts for thousands of blocks. Each validator is compensated for running the VDF because the block producer receives awards for producing a block. Proof of history enables the network to never stop, as leaders continue to rotate and the network maintains progress regardless of network conditions. Validators do not have to talk to one another for the network to decide to rotate validators. This mechanism makes Solana unique in that no other blockchain has anything comparable. Proof of history also allows Solana to optimize for block time, block propagation, throughput, and ledger storage available to the network. Tower BFT is Solana's custom implementation of practical Byzantine fault tolerance, or PBFT, that prefers liveness to consistency. Tower BFT leverages proof of history as a clock before consensus to reduce messaging overhead and latency. Inspired by BitTorrent, Turbine is Solana's block propagation protocol that solves the blockchain scalability trilemma. If you are unfamiliar with the scalability trilemma in blockchain tech, it mostly comes down to bandwidth. Most blockchains today have a fixed amount of bandwidth per node, so increasing the total node count will also increase the amount of time necessary to propagate all the data to each node, which is a big problem. Solana's solution to this problem is Turbine. It is optimized for streaming and transmits data using UDP only, implementing a random path per packet to the network as block producers stream their data. The leader breaks the block into smaller packets up to 64 kilobytes. So, for a 128 megabyte block, the leader would produce 2,064 kilobyte packets and then transmits each packet to a different validator. Gulfstream is Solana's mempool management tool for high-performance network. A mempool is a set of transactions on a blockchain that have been submitted but not yet processed by the network. Solana validators can manage a mempool size of 100,000, which can then be executed in a matter of seconds with a network throughput of 50,000 transactions per second. This is possible by pushing transaction caching and forwarding to the edge of the network. Solana's sea-level innovation allows a runtime to process tens of thousands of smart contracts in parallel while using as many cores as possible that are available to the validator. This is possible because Solana's blockchain transactions describe all the states a transaction will read or write while executing. To achieve quick validations of massive transaction blocks while also replicating them across the network, the process of transaction validation on the Solana network makes use of a common technique called pipelining. Pipeline is Solana's transaction processing unit for validation optimization. Cloud Break is Solana's horizontally scaled state architecture. The design principle at Solana is to design software that gets out of the way of the hardware to allow 100% utilization. Cloudbreak helps with that. Instead of using traditional databases to solve scaling problems, Solana uses several mechanisms utilized by the operating systems. Archivers is Solana's distributed ledger store for blockchain data storage. After being introduced to proof of replication by Filecoin in 2017, the team built its version of POREP for Solana using a VDF and optimized for batch verification. So there is an overview of the 8 core innovations of Solana, and therefore we can move forward with Solanium. Now, we need to explore the Solana ecosystem in order to see where Solanium falls in. If you see down here at the bottom right, Solanium falls under launchpads within the Solana ecosystem. And as you can see, there are several categories: DeFi, NFT, tools and explorers, staking, infrastructure, Web3 and e-commerce, wallets, oracles, privacy, and launchpads. But here's what makes Solanium so awesome. Solanium is the go-to platform for the Solana blockchain, in which it is also a DEX, a place to raise projects, stake your tokens, and participate in governance or just join the community. To take a first look at Solanium, it has UI and UX prioritization, it's decentralized, has time-weighted token staking, and governance voting. With the staking, you can stake the native token for fee distribution, exclusive pool access, and governance. The pools are the core function of Solanium. Everyone can create a pool. And to trade, those finalized pools can create market and start trading. Similar projects to Solanium are SolStarter, PolkaStarter, and DAOmaker. Now, looking at the most held tokens on Solana's ecosystem over the last 7 days, this was updated on May 31st. Slim, which is the native token of Solanium, comes in at 619,310 holders, completely outweighing the whole class. Even major projects such as Step Finance, Mer, Serum, and Ray. On May 29th, Solanium was listed on Gate.io. It is paired with USDT, so go and get you a bag if you are using Gate.io. On June 1st, Solanium was listed on MXC. So if you like MXC as an exchange, make sure to go over there and grab you a bag as well. Solanium reached 100,000 followers already, and it is proven here on their Twitter page. They're now sitting at 162,000 followers and growing rapidly. As I mentioned to you guys in a past video, Solanium, although new, is not a project that you want to slip out of your hands. And as you can see, I will be filling my bags with the DCA strategy for Solanium. Now, if you guys want to figure out a DCA strategy, go over to Ryan Mata's YouTube page, watch his videos on dollar cost averaging in and out of projects, and download his DCA strategy matrix made very, very easy for you guys. Okay, you don't want to use my complicated matrix here. That is all I have for you guys today. Thank you for tuning in. I hope this was some valuable information for you all in terms of Solana and how Solanium is going to be working inside of the network and the ecosystem. That's all I got. Go get those gains.